virtual public information workshop. We're just going to wait a few more minutes as I see people are still linking up to the webinar. As I said, we'll start shortly.
Are we on live?
Yes, we are. We're just going to wait a few more minutes for people to get there, open their link. Okay, I haven't seen anybody logging on in the last 30 seconds. So Maria, I guess we could start.
Okay. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the public workshop. My name is Maria Formoso, and I'm the project manager for the final design of County Road 510 from west of 82nd Avenue to 58th Avenue. I'd like to thank you all for attending and welcome you. The project team is myself, the consultant, which is Metric Engineering. Brian Fuller is the engineer of record and consultant project manager. And Lila Haddad is spearheading the public information effort. She's with MRT. Lila?
Thank you. Next slide, slide 3, please, Brian. Before we get started, we'd just like to acknowledge any elected officials that might be out there. If you could raise your hand, in the question panel or question pane, I don't see anybody. Oh yes, Barbara, we're going to unmute you, and you can introduce. Barbara, I think you have to unmute yourself too.
So you've got several elected officials here sitting in council chambers. Give us a moment and they'll come up and introduce themselves.
Sitting in the where? At the city hall?
Hello, I'm in Sebastian council chambers, Laura Moss, County Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials that will be introducing themselves? I'm sorry, we could not hear. You need to come to the mic at the computer.
I don't think we have any more introductions.
Okay. Thank you very much. And welcome, everybody. Good evening. I will be taking you through the next few slides. I will be reading the text on the slides, as some people may have dialed in by phone and they cannot see the slides, but might be following the presentation with a copy they downloaded. Next slide, number 3. Okay, we're on it. Due to the state of emergency declared by Governor DeSantis in Executive Order 20-52 as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is authorized to be held virtually and not in person. We are using the GoToWebinar platform for this meeting. There is no cost to the public to log in or dial in to participate in this meeting. Next slide, number 4. On your computer or device screen, you should see something that looks like a control panel in the upper right corner. In it, you will see a question function. That is what you will use to provide us with your comment or question. Next slide, number 5. For those of you who have dialed in the meeting on the telephone line and are viewing a hard copy of the slide presentation, the presenter will announce the page numbers of the slide being shown on the screen. Next slide, number 6. All attendees are placed in listen mode only throughout the meeting. You can submit comments or questions by typing them into the question pane on the control panel anytime during the presentation. We will provide responses after the presentation, or you can wait until the end of the Q&A session and we'll open up the microphones. Next slide, number 7. This workshop is being recorded, this meeting, and will be available after the meeting on the project website. Slide number 8, please. Public notice for this virtual public meeting, including information on how to access the meeting platform, was provided in flyers to property owners and tenants in the project area, a posting in the Florida Administrative Register, advertised in the Indian River TC Palm, in emails to persons on the project contact list, on social media feeds, and other notification methods. The notice was also posted on the City of Sebastian and the Indian River County MPO website. Next slide, number 9, please. The department encourages the public to participate in this project by submitting comments and questions. As mentioned earlier, you can type your comments in the question function on the meeting control panel during today's meeting. You can also email the FDOT project manager or slow mail to 3400 West Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, or you can call the project manager at 954-777-4677. All comments and questions submitted through these options are part of the public record for this virtual meeting and will be considered by the department during project decision making. Slide number 10. Non-discrimination policy and rules of engagement. Next slide, number 11, please. The Florida Department of Transportation is required to comply with various non-discrimination laws and regulations, including the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited with regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express concern about Title VI may do so by contacting either the Department of Transportation District 4 coordinator or the Title VI coordinator in Tallahassee. Next screen, number 12. Rules of engagement. Just to recap, this virtual public meeting is being recorded. If you experience technical difficulty, please contact George Fallon at 305-796-8170 so that he may assist you to connect. All attendees will remain muted throughout the presentation. Attendees are welcome to submit any question or comments using the GoToWebinar question function at any time, and a member of the team will respond during the question and answer session. You will have an opportunity to ask questions verbally during the Q&A session, or rather at the end of the Q&A session. If you are participating via phone and have questions and comments, please feel free to submit them to the FDOT project manager after the meeting, a response will be provided. Next slide, number 13. Brian, now it's you. Brian, you're muted.
Thank you. Again, as Layla mentioned, my name is Brian Fleur. I'm the consultant project manager for segments 5 and 6 of County Road 510. This meeting is just a continuation of the public outreach that was started for this project. Slide 14, project improvements. This project includes increased capacity, which will be adding 2 travel lanes in each direction. We're providing 7-foot bike lanes in each direction. We're also providing 6-foot sidewalks on both sides of the roads of County Road 510 with a 10-foot shared path at 66th Avenue. Improved safety on the project includes raised medians to divide traffic, improving traffic signals, and additional lighting at intersections, and the proposed roundabout at the 66th Avenue intersection. Increased aesthetics. Landscaping for this project would be added at a later time. Drainage improvements, additional swales, pond sites, and drainage inlets are being added to better address the drainage requirements for this project. 3 new bridges are included with this project. One's at C Canal, one's at L Canal, and the other one is the South Prong Slope. Slide 15. This is the proposed typical section from west of 82nd Avenue to west of 66th Avenue. As you can see, it includes 2 12-foot travel lanes in each direction, a 7-foot buffered bike lane, 6-foot sidewalk on both sides of the road, a 22-foot raised median. The roadway drainage is collected in curb inlets in the outside curb and gutter and piped to proposed ponds. And then on the north side, we are providing an off-site ditch to convey existing drainage that currently flows into the County Road 510 right-of-way. Slide 16. This is the proposed typical from east of 66th to 58th Avenue. It includes 2 11-foot lanes, a 7-foot buffered bike lane, 6-foot sidewalk on both sides of the roadway, a 22-foot raised median, and roadway drainage is collected in curb inlets within the curb and gutter section and piped to proposed pond site. Slide 17. As part of this project, right-of-way acquisition will be acquired on both the north and south of the existing County Road 510 to accommodate the widening of the roadway. Drainage easements will be acquired for proposed water retention areas and for off-site ditches. Temporary construction easements and license agreements will be acquired to accommodate construction activities outside of the proposed right-of-way. Slide 18, proposed improved safety for bike and pedestrian features. As we had mentioned, we're providing a 6-foot sidewalk on both sides of the roads throughout the project limits. Crosswalks will be provided at all signalized intersections, and a 7-foot buffered bike lane will be provided on both sides of the roadway throughout the project. Additionally, we are at the roundabout that is proposed at 66th Avenue, we're proposing a 10-foot multi-use path and also the use of rapid rectangular flashing beacons for the crosswalk. Slide 19, improved safety. This is a comparison of the potential conflict points for the proposed roundabout at 66th Avenue. As you can see on the left, there is only 4 conflict points with the proposed roundabout. But with a standard signalized intersection, you have a total of 30 conflict points. Slide 20, aesthetics. Any landscaping that would be proposed for the project will be added once the roadway construction is complete. With the proposed roundabout, we do provide a gateway opportunity, and also there is a potential for monument display. Slide 21, traffic intersection. We are proposing signalized intersections at 82nd Avenue, 70th Avenue, 64th Avenue, and 58th Avenue. Additionally, we are proposing a roundabout at the 66th Avenue intersection. Slide 22, traffic roundabout. For the proposed intersection at 66th Avenue, we are proposing a roundabout for a multitude of reasons. One of them is lower delay time. We analyze this intersection as both a signalized intersection and with a roundabout. With a signalized intersection, we would anticipate to have almost 40 seconds of delay per vehicle in both the AM and PM peak time. For a roundabout, those delays are reduced to just over 20 seconds in both the AM and the PM peak. Additionally, we do provide an improved level of service. The level of service is just basically a way of grading the traffic service provided by the roadway from a score of A to F. With a signalized intersection, we would have a level of service D, and with a roundabout, we would have a level of service C. Additionally, the roundabout provides unique safety features, including fewer crashes, specifically 90% fewer fatalities, and 75% fewer injuries. One of the additional benefits is the intersection would also work during power outages. Slide 23, temporary traffic control plan. As part of the design, we will develop a temporary traffic control plan for the contractor to use to build the project. We're going to maintain the existing number of lanes during peak hours. New roadway and sidewalk will be constructed, as you can see in the diagram at the bottom of the slide. Traffic will be shifted to the new roadway once it's completed, and the existing roadway will be reconstructed. Pedestrian detours will be provided to maintain pedestrian connectivity, and access to all properties along the project will maintain to the greatest extent possible. Slide number 24, project schedule and cost. The project is currently under design. We recently submitted our constructability plans, which is about approximately a 60% level last month. Right-of-way acquisition is intended to start in the winter of this year, with the completing of the design in November of 2023. At this time, there is no construction start date, as the construction is currently unfunded. The current cost estimate for segment 5 is $30.5 million, and for segment 6 is $20.7 million, for a total cost of $51.2 million. And now we'll have a question and answers. Layla? Oh, I'm sorry. Maria, Layla, are you muted?
Sorry, I was muted.
I know how that goes.
At this time, we've concluded the presentation, and it's time to send in your questions or comments using the question panel on your computer. If you're sending a question from City Hall, please provide your full name and email address, and we will verbally provide you an answer, but we may want to follow up later with you. That's why we're requesting your email address. If for some reason your question is not fully responded to during this workshop, we will provide a written answer soon afterwards. And at the end of the written question and answer period, if you would like to speak and verbally say something, you could raise your hand and we could see who it is, and we can unmute your computer at that time. Next slide. Oh, I went too far. That's okay. At this time, I'm going to read the questions, and the panelists will be able to provide an answer. The first question actually doesn't have to do with this project, but it is, now I'll scroll up. Hold on, bear with me. Okay, I would like to know what is going to happen from 58th Avenue to US 1. The traffic is backed up now from US 1 to beyond 66. There you go, Maria.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yes, I'm the project manager for that segment of County Road 510. And currently, it is in the work program to go through a PD&E study. And then ultimately, final design and acquisition. But we're looking at probably 2023 before we begin that project. Again, it's up to the Indian River County MPO to prioritize the various projects. So I hope I answered your question.
Okay, next question. What is the plan and target date of project for the stretch between 85th Avenue and US 1? That's the same question. I'm a different person. Sorry.
Right. No problem. So we have that in our work program, but it's not really scheduled to begin until fiscal year 2023. And it'll follow the same process as County Road 510 has followed, which is a project development and environmental study that will ultimately lead to location concept approval, and then we'll begin the final design. So unfortunately, currently, it is out quite a bit.
Next question. Do you know how far north of current Country Road 510 will you come for right of way?
I'll let Brian answer that. It varies.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it varies throughout the corridor, depending on where you're at. The section from 82nd to 66, which is the suburban or the wider typical, the 12-foot lane typical, we're acquiring additional more right-of-way just because it's a wider section. And then we get into town from 66 to 58, we're more of a traditional urban section. So the amount of right-of-way at that location is much narrower, and the alignment also shifts within that. So if there's some specific location, feel free to email Maria Formoso, and we will go ahead and provide you the information on the amount of that right-of-way acquisition.
Next question about the roundabout. What happens to the bike lanes at the roundabout?
Well, bicyclists have two options when they approach the roundabout. Due to the speed within the roundabout, your professional bicyclists are more than welcome to stay within the travel lane and continue through the circle just like a car does. For those not wanting to stay on the roadway, we are providing the 10-foot wide multi-use path. So there is a bike lane at each end of the roundabout where they can exit the roundabout, go through the circle, and then enter back into the 7-foot buffered bike lane once they're past the roundabout.
Is the planned wildlife and pedestrian underpass still included in the vicinity of the South Prong?
Yes. Go ahead, Brian.
No.
Well, so I'll go ahead. Yes, we are providing minimum vertical clearance from the lowest member of the bridge to the walking path of the canal berm. So in the future, Indian River County can come in and develop the park and path walk and environmental preserve area that they have planned. This was a condition, a commitment from our project development and environmental study. And likewise, there is the option to do the same on the bridge that goes over the North Prong Slough.
Thank you. The signal at 64th Avenue, is it full or only blinking light as current?
60th and 4th Avenue would be a full signal.
Yes.
Most residents and county officials oppose the roundabout. Why is FDOT going forward with this?
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, required by FDOT, we're required to look at every intersection for the possibility of a roundabout. We analyzed each of the intersections, and the only one that moved forward was 66th Avenue because it has to meet certain geometric inserts, volume constraints, and all that. So it's not something that we just blanket apply to, every intersection. We do analyze every intersection, but not every intersection qualifies for a roundabout. So we have looked at 66th Avenue. The volumes work. It does provide safety benefits. It also provides, reduces delay through the intersection. We are currently coordinating with Indian River County for the approval to include the roundabout as part of the design.
Correct. So roundabouts are much safer. They're, as Brian pointed out earlier, they're less conflict points, and the traffic continues throughout. Another benefit is that in the event of a hurricane, if a typical signalized intersection, if the lights go out, it would be quite chaotic. With a roundabout, that would not be an issue. You just simply continue on through and follow the driving process. As far as the comment about most people not being in favor of it, we have not been made aware that most people are not in favor of it. And so this is why we are engaging in this exercise we met with the TAC and CAC and MPO, and now we're having the public information meeting. And our goal is ultimately to have the MPO give us a firm commitment before we go and begin acquiring right of way for the roundabout.
Another question relating to the roundabout. It does not appear that the roundabout will accommodate commercial trucks with 53-foot trailers. Is this a truck route? Question mark. If so, do you have the truck turning radii diagram to show?
Brian?
Yes, as part of this design, the project was simulated with two trucks going through the intersection at the same time. Minaj, would you go ahead and provide that so they can, it may be a little bit hard to visualize, but it shows the trail of two semi-trucks going through the roundabout at the same time.
Yes. Give me one second. Let me just share.
There's another question. What is the closest comparable roundabout to this one?
There's a couple of roundabouts both there's a new one that was just completed in Brevard County. And at Lake Andrew and Peroda. It is a 2-lane roundabout. It's just been opened. But I'll go ahead and finish this one, then we'll go back to the other one, Minaj. In Brevard County. Additionally, in Palm Beach County, there's several 2-lane roundabouts within Palm Beach County.
Along Donald Ross Road.
Yeah, and also on Central Boulevard that has multiple roundabouts. Now, some of these have a bigger circle just because of the geometry, but they are still 2-lane roundabouts. And also at PGA at Marisol. Okay. Now, going back, as you can see, this is 2 semi-trucks approaching into the roundabout. Scroll to your right, Minaj, and let's see. As you can see, they are traveling through the roundabout. Now, with a semi-truck, there is the concrete apron in the roundabout, which is allowed for semi-trucks to drive over. That's why it is designed that way, for them to be able to utilize that. But as you can see, kind of zoom out and center on the roundabout. As you can see, the 2 trucks are able to continue around through the roundabout. This is a requirement from DOT that it has to accommodate commercial vehicles. And actually, it's required to do a commercial vehicle with a personal vehicle. This one actually goes above and beyond that by being able to accommodate 2 wheelbase 67 vehicles at the same time.
What is the anticipated completion of the entire project?
We currently do not have 3 out of the 4 segments funded for construction. Segment 7, which is County Road 510 from the intersection of County Road 510 and County Road 512 to 87th Place, I believe. That is the only segment that is being funded for construction currently. All the other 3 segments are candidates and should be funded in the near future. So it's impossible for me to tell you when they'll be completed when I don't know when they'll begin. But typically, after they have begun, the construction for any one of these segments would be about 2 to 3 years.
Thank you. Next question. Slide number 22 pictured 66 north and south showed as double lanes. How far does this go, and when is that work scheduled?
The part 66 to the north is being constructed by Indian River County. It is anticipated that that widening will be completed prior to us going to construction. The 66 to the south, we are widening enough to accommodate the 2 4-lane configuration, then shifting down to meet the existing roadway in the 2-lane section, approximately 1,200 feet.
In the north, do you know how far that is going to be double lanes?
It is part of the Indian River County project, and they're widening several miles of 66. I would recommend, if they're interested in checking on those improvements, to get with Indian River County to get the exact time frame of when they anticipate to have that widening in construction.
Are you aware that the property values used in this proposal were based on 2015 numbers and that there has been a large increase in property values?
Robin Brisbois, are you attending the meeting?
Yes, I'm here, Maria.
So Robin Brisbois is going to be overseeing the right-of-way appraisal and acquisition efforts. So I will turn it over to her to answer that question.
I think what they're saying is that the right-of-way cost estimate is based on 2015 figures. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying, Layla?
Yes, I believe that's the question, yes.
I would have to look into that to verify if that is accurate or not. I don't know right now.
Can we get the email and the name of the person so we could follow up, please?
I'm taking a note of that.
I know that we update our cost estimates yearly, so that doesn't seem correct, but I need to look into it.
We can follow up on that one.
Yes.
How do you handle the construction of the roundabout? Will the intersection be closed?
Mm.
No, the intersection will not be closed. There will be, traffic will need to be shifted to accommodate the construction of the roundabout, but we will be maintaining 2 lanes on 510 all during construction. And we'll also accommodate whatever configuration 66 is in at the time we go to construction. If the county has maintained, has constructed that, then we will make sure to maintain a connection to 66 with their configuration. But the intersection, in other words, the intersection will not be closed.
Thank you. What is the logic behind widening the roadway and having traffic merge back into 2 lanes?
Well, this is a capacity project, and so that the traffic projections for this corridor justify the widening, the need to have 4 lanes of traffic. The reason why it's shown as tapering back to the existing 2 lanes is because the sequencing of construction is different for each of the 4 segments. So at current time, we do not know what that will be because 3 out of the 4 segments still need to be funded for construction. But I'll try to explain it so that if we were widening County Road 510 from County Road 512 to 87th Place, we would show 4 lanes all the way through, but at some point we have to transition the drivers back to the existing 2 lanes. And so this is why we show that, because unfortunately we cannot afford to build all 5.7 miles of the corridor at the same time.
Thank you. What will the speed be in the roundabout?
The posted speed will be 25 miles an hour.
New Jersey DOT seemed to eliminate roundabouts due to traffic and safety conditions. Do you have any real-life data to support your assumptions?
Layla, what was the first part of that?
The New Jersey Department of Transportation seemed to eliminate roundabouts due to traffic and safety conditions. Do you have any real-life data to support your assumptions?
What DOT was that again?
Jersey.
Oh, there's, I don't think we're going to entertain a conversation on the New Jersey DOT roundabouts because we have limited information as to how that was designed and developed and so forth. But I will turn it over to Brian for him to discuss the data that is readily available that speaks to the safety and efficiency of the roundabout we're proposing.
Thank you, Maria. And the roundabouts have gone through, the roundabout that we're designing is we can call it a modern roundabout. It does not look the same as the roundabouts that were built 20 years ago or further even back than that. This is has very specific geometry requirements to slow traffic down. Additionally, it's been recognized by the Florida Federal Highway Administration as a safety countermeasure. DOT has also looked at multiple intersections before and after to come up with the safety factors that we utilize for a roundabout. If there's some specific information that additionally you're looking for, please let us know. But it is well known through the Federal Highway Administration and through DOT that roundabouts do provide a safety benefit purely from the fact that you have a reduced number of conflict points. You also have a lower speed through the roundabout, which is why there is a reduction in crashes and most definitely reduction in fatality.
Will there be an emergency pull-off, an emergency lane on 510?
No.
Why is FDOT choosing to spend so much money to widen the road?
Could you repeat that?
Why is FDOT choosing to spend so much money to widen the road?
So the way that our work program works is that we work with local metropolitan planning organizations, and in this case, Indian River County MPO, and they prioritize the projects. So due to the traffic patterns and the projected traffic patterns, it was determined that County Road 510 needed 4 lanes. And so the DOT has gone through and followed the process required to accommodate that. So it costs what it costs. It's not the DOT that determines, you know what, we're going to spend $51 million on this segment. The way the process works is the Indian River County MPO identifies the project. The project is a priority, deemed a priority. The project is funded and gets into our work program, and then we go to work to design it and cost it out. And that's what we get here.
Can you please repeat which intersections on 510 in 5 and 6 will be signalized? Why not include roundabouts there?
The intersections that will be signalized is 82nd Avenue, 70th Avenue, 64th Avenue, and 58th Avenue. As I had mentioned, the DOT has a very elaborate process that we evaluate intersections, and not all they have to meet certain criteria to proceed on to the next level. And the other intersections did not meet those requirements. So that's the reason why they did not progress further and are saying a signalized intersection.
Why have a full signal so close to the roundabout?
It's there's access management requirements, so the spacing, there is certain spacing requirements for signalized intersections and within the corridor. This is an access management issue. Due to the volumes at those intersections, they were identified to require signalization. So there's no difference in the improvement at 66. The other intersections are improved intersections. We evaluated and analyzed.
If I may add to that, the proposed signalized intersection at 64th and County Road 510 was the local community expressed interest in the safety associated with children being dropped off by the school bus and crossing that intersection without some safety, mediation. And so this is a county road, and the county decided to have it signalized for the safety of the community.
Another one about signals. I think the roundabout is a great idea, but is this roundabout big enough to handle the peak volume? And will the red lights at 64th and 70th back up traffic on the roundabout?
The intersection has been modeled with the signalized intersection. So we do have that information. And as we mentioned previously, the roundabout is large enough to accommodate the anticipated truck traffic in the corridor. And as, of course, for moving into design, the roundabout has to be able to accommodate the future traffic demands within the corridor.
Right. If I may add, so on these projects, we designed the signalization and we coordinated with local government, that being Indian River County. But ultimately, when we turn the project over to Indian River County, it is a traffic division that goes through and models the corridor and assigns timing to the intersection to maintain the flows running through without much backing up. So ultimately, we would look for Indian River County traffic engineering to set the timing for the signals so that you can have ultimate free flow.
Most people do not know how to drive through around a roundabout. Was this consideration part of the algorithm?
We do understand that there is some concerns with the being able to negotiate a roundabout. I know DOT has provided some information on the website on specific information on how to negotiate a roundabout. As with any improvement, whether it was a signal or a roundabout, there will be somewhat of a learning curve, even if it was just a signal. So we do anticipate that there would be some getting used to the roundabout, but DOT has also provided information on their website on how to negotiate and drive through a roundabout.
Would it be possible to construct a smaller roundabout that doesn't require all those extra lanes?
The issue would be capacity. If we go to a single lane roundabout, you would have some significant delays associated with the roundabout. Due to just the volume of traffic, it would need to be a 2-lane roundabout.
What's the best way to voice our objections to the roundabout so that we can be heard? Our seniors will have problems trying to navigate it.
You're attending this meeting and making the comment. Also, you can send the information to Maria, her email address, and also there will be some other places where you can, we identify where you can send your comments to.
Additionally, I recommend that you contact your, the MPO or your Board of County Commissioners, the local government officials, and voice your opposition, or if you're in favor of it, do so with them.
Have the retaining sites been identified, and if so, what are the locations?
Was that water retention site, Layla?
Sorry, go ahead.
Was it water retention site?
Have the retaining pond sites been identified?
Okay,
Yes.
yes. We have our drainage engineer, Tommy Ruiz, on the line. So, Tommy, if you want to go through just an overview of the pond sites.
Yes, thank you, Brian. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I want to share my screen. I think you got to make me a presenter so I can go through. Okay, go my screen.
Yes, Tommy, I made you a presenter.
Okay, great, thank you. Be able to see my screen there showing Pond 5 at the very beginning?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. I'll start all the way at the east and I'll start all the way at the west and move my way east. Starting over here, here's 84th Avenue. So as we come through, we're gonna require one pond here from private property. There's gonna be another pond required here, Pond 6. This is lateral C canal. Moving east, we keep going. We're gonna need a pond right here. This pond right here, Pond 7, is on property already owned by Indian River County, so no right-of-way acquisition there. Moving on. We're gonna need one pond right up here. Pond 8. And Pond 9. Right here. This is the 66th roundabout. So Pond 9 right here. And then finally, Pond 10 is actually a two-part pond. We've got Pond A and B, all here near the end of the project. And for this pond, the Pond 10A, that's on property owned by Indian River County. And Pond 10B, most of this is owned already by Indian River County, except for this little parcel right here where there's a house located right here. So all these other parcels are already owned by Indian River County. And these right now, the right-of-way acquisition that's being proposed is an drainage easement, and that's it for drainage.
I just got a message from Jim Mann from the Indian River County MPO. The discussion we had earlier about 66th Avenue, he states that the south of 510 is going to be widened to 4 lanes, but not north of 510. That, I believe, was what we thought was Indian River project, but evidently it's not. Okay.
Yeah, so the Indian River project is, yeah, I had north and south. The project with Indian River County is the south.
I am at 7,800 across from 79th Terrace. The original plan already has the retaining wall from the front wall of my house. Should I add the additional width of the bike path, 7 feet, and walking path, 6 feet, as additional loss of land? So this would put the wall a minimum of 30 feet from the front of my house, possibly even closer. Is this correct?
Layla, could you read that? You broke up kind of in the middle of it.
Okay. This gentleman is saying that he lives at 7,800, and I guess that's State Road, Country Road 510, across from 79th Terrace.
Oh.
The original plan had the retaining wall 43 feet from the front of his house. But now with the addition of the bike path, 7 feet, and the walking path, 6 feet, as additional loss of land, so would this put the retaining wall 30 feet from the front of his house?
Could we locate his property? Is that possible? Because I suspect possibly he's referring to the other two segments.
No, I believe this property is on the northwest corner of lateral L canal. The lateral L canal where we have the slough.
Okay, can we look at that?
Oh, okay, yes, I know what you're talking about. This is where we had provided some information on the geometry. The 7-foot bike lane has always been as part of the project. And additionally, the 6-foot sidewalk has been proposed in there with the information that was provided to the property owner.
You're saying the wall will stay 43 feet from the front of his house?
I would have to confirm that, but I don't believe we have not moved that wall section.
Is this Mr. Vanglas who's asking?
Yeah. Correct.
Correct, yeah. So yeah, we've met with him several times. We coordinated and had virtual meetings with him, and we shared some cross sections and some sketches with him. And I don't believe anything has changed since.
No, there has not been any change to our design since we provided the information last. So the offsets we provided at that time are still the same.
82nd Avenue be an alternative north-south road during construction, and would US 1 widening work be going on at the same time as this project?
No, the two projects, actually 82nd, did you say 82nd Avenue South?
Doesn't indicate, it says will 82nd Avenue be an alternative north-south route?
Right, so I'm pretty sure it's south of County Road 510. No, we would make sure that construction would not take place at the same time. And I believe that the segment that comes up to County Road 510, while it was funded for right-of-way acquisition and I believe certified for the same, I don't believe it was ever funded for construction. So avoidance of, overlapping and overlapping projects and throwaway work is one of the things that we look for at all proposed improvements.
For those of us who live and work here, the idea of partially widening while leaving the segment at US 1 untouched is a poor decision. It defies logic. Additionally, even when that segment is completed, there will still be a bottleneck across US 1 and a causeway. Why not wait until all phases are funded?
Well, thank you very much for your comment. There are various reasons why projects are segmented and funded separately. And a lot has to do with the fact that we have limited resources. So rather than the department spend $90 million and widen the entire County Road 510 at the same time, we segmented so we could do it in segments as the money comes in. I was not part of the decision making that left that 1 mile piece out of the equation. I suggest if you feel that strongly about it, you voice your concerns to the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners.
Apart from the roundabout, what will the speed limit be on 510?
We have, yeah, we have two basic segments on 510. We have the segments from 82nd up to 66, and that will be posted at 50 miles an hour. Then you have the segment from 66 to 58, and the design or the posted speed there will be 45.
Wouldn't the reduction in crashes be natural when the additional traffic lights are installed, slowing down traffic speed at 70th Avenue, Treasure Coast Elementary School, and 64th Avenue?
Well, Treasure, the Treasure School that you refer to is, I don't believe it's part of this project. Can you repeat the question again?
Wouldn't the reduction in crashes be natural when additional traffic lights are installed, slowing down traffic speed at 70th Avenue, Treasure Coast Elementary School, and 64th Avenue?
Brian, do you want to
No, they would still be signalized intersections. I mean, signalized intersections, by their very nature, do have certain crashes associated with them. It would be better, but a roundabout still provides a significantly better crash reduction than a traffic signal.
Yeah, and another thing, it avoids T collision, collisions that are for example, if you run a red light in a signalized intersection, the collisions tend to lead to fatalities more because you have T crashes. But with the roundabout, you have continuous movement. So if there's going to be any collision, it's going to be on the side. And those tend to be less serious or harmful.
If there is not going to be an emergency lane or pull-off, where are broken down vehicles to go?
Well, in the segment that is suburban, you would just you would have the shoulder, and Brian, do you?
Yeah, I mean, it would, you have a disabled vehicle, you would pull up onto the shoulder, and as if you would do any other 4-lane section, this one actually is a little bit better because we do have a 7-foot shoulder which accommodates bikes, but there was no intentions to include specific pull-out areas along the corridor for broken down vehicles, because it is a 4-lane facility, and if there is a broken down vehicle, there would be room for vehicles to pass on either side of the broken down vehicle.
Can bike lanes be adjacent to 50-mile-an-hour traffic?
Well, Brian, do you want to? The answer is yes. These are 7-foot bike lanes, so they're quite wide, and yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, bear with me. I'm going through the spreadsheet to make sure we've covered all the other comments, questions. There are comments that will be part of the public record, as I stated earlier. I do know we have one person who has a raised hand, would like to ask a question. Again, let me quickly go over the written questions. Okay.
This is Barbara from City Hall. We have a couple people that would like to ask questions.
Okay, so Barbara, is your hand, let me see, your hand raised?
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously you have control over the microphone, so let us first go to Mr. Excuse me, a very long list I'm scrolling through. Mr. Richard Votapaka, if you could unmute your microphone, and I think you're unmuted from this side.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, my name is Rich Votapka. I've been a resident of Indian River County since 1975. I'm a professional engineer and have worked for several years for the Brevard County Traffic Engineering Department. Every day to and from work, I had to navigate the 2-lane roundabout in Vieira at the intersection of North Wickham Road and Lake Andrew Drive in Vieira, just west of exit 191 on Interstate 95. The roundabout was constructed 2003, 2 years before I started work in traffic engineering. I deplored driving around the 2-lane roundabout because other drivers don't know how to drive around it. They were confused when they entered the roundabout as to the proper approach lanes they were supposed to be in, and they changed lanes within the roundabouts, which resulted in rear-end and sideswipe collisions. In 2016 video, former executive director of Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization, Brevard County, Bob Com, stated the most controversial intersection in all of Brevard is the 2-lane Vieira roundabout. He said, quote, "We probably get more questions and comments about the Vieira roundabout than any other single feature in the transportation system in Brevard, and the comments are almost exclusively negative," end quote. Bob also said there are situations where roundabouts are a good solution and others where they're not. According to the Today newspaper, in August 27, 2016 article, it started by saying, quote, "Loathed by legions of Space Coast motorists, the Vieira roundabout has served as a lightning rod for irritated drivers since its 2003 debut as Brevard County's lone 2-lane traffic circle," end quote. Mr. Com said that there are some difficulties in using the Vieira roundabout from the motorist point of view. He said that motorists go through the two-lane roundabout much too fast. They don't stay in their lanes. They are unpredictable. Drivers don't know how to negotiate it. Drivers need to slow down, show patience, show respect, use courtesy, exhibit a safe defense behavior, and pay attention. Drivers are hesitant to enter the roundabout to safely get into the traffic flow. Now, I recently obtained the number of traffic accidents or crashes that they referred to by the Florida Department of Transportation for the Vieira roundabout from the Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization. In 2016, there were 35 crashes. There were 56 2017, 61 2018, 50 2019, and 46 in 2020 when there was less traffic due to the pandemic. All total, there were 248 crashes in 5 years, or approximately 50 crashes per year on average, or about 1 crash per week. However, due to slow speeds around about, there were no fatalities or serious injuries. From an engineering perspective, the proposed roundabout for 66th Avenue County Road 510 appears to be well designed with few exceptions. For instance, with the amount of crashes that occur when the roundabout will cause long queues or stacking approach lanes until the crash is cleared, there should be bypass lanes in all quadrants. By comparison, the Vieira roundabout has bypass lanes in all 4 quadrants. The one at County Road 510 and 66 only has bypass lanes in 2 quadrants. There are standard left turn pavement arrows shown in all approach lanes. Although the approach lanes are angled in the direction of traffic flow, these arrows may confuse drivers to turn against the flow of traffic, causing a head-on collision. If this roundabout is built, I would highly recommend that fishhook arrows going around a circle, which symbolizes a center island, be applied to the pavement to show motorists how they're supposed to navigate the roundabout when they're in the approach lane. Despite that the roundabout seems to be well designed geometrically, my biggest concern is that designers cannot predict human behavior once they encounter driving through a 2-lane roundabout. Most likely, more crashes will result in the County Road 510 66th Avenue roundabout than in the Vieira roundabout, especially in the morning and the afternoon peak hour periods because of the diversity of the traffic. The peak hour periods will experience school buses, delivery, service, construction trucks, tractor trailers, young drivers driving to and from the Sebastian River High School, older drivers commuting to work, motorcycles, tourists going to and from I-95, elderly drivers, and police and fire rescue vehicles. The diversity of the type of vehicles and age of motorists driving around the roundabout will no doubt be problematical even to the most experienced drivers. In reference to step 2 evaluation, I have the following questions. 1, exactly what type of signalized intersection was used in comparison to the roundabout? 2, does the delay cost take into consideration the delays caused by numerous crashes within the roundabout affecting queues and approaching legs? If so, what is the average number of crashes used in determining the delay cost? 3, why were no bypass lanes designed for the northwest and southeast quadrants? 4, was the traffic generated proposed huge residential development of Liberty Park at the southwest corner of County Road 510 and 66th Avenue factored into the traffic analysis and the intersection? Firstly, I would recommend that a signalized 4-way intersection be constructed having 2 dual or 2 dedicated left turn lanes for each leg with protected left turn arrows only. By eliminating the green permissive signal, the safety of the signalized intersection would greatly improve for vehicles because many fatalities occur when the green permissive signal follows the protected left turns. Also, safety for pedestrians and bicyclists will be greatly improved because signalized crosswalks with signal countdown timers will allow them to cross in front of stop traffic in an allocated time. As Bob Cobb said, there are situations where roundabouts are a good solution and others where they are not. I believe a 2-lane roundabout is not a good solution for the 66th Avenue County Road 510 intersection. Indian River County does not need a controversial, problematic traffic headache to rival the Vieira roundabout. It is not too late to change the design, so please do it before the plans are finished.
Thank you for your comment. We will provide written responses and take into consideration all your suggestions. Thank you.
Thank
you. Could you also please email that to Maria?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Next we have, I'm sorry, Nick, is it Belangas? You unmute, please.
Yes.
There you are.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Nick.
Okay, first off, I want to thank you all for putting this together today. And I didn't know I was going to be following Mr. Votapko, so my question is going to seem a little bit more basic. But in the same vein, I do live on 510. I also work on 510, and a large section of what you're going to be taking is my home and property. So I have a very very big interest in this whole project. Additionally, though, in dealing with the roundabout, I really have an issue with your presentation, and I think it's fairly, maybe unintentionally disingenuous to show 4 conflict points for a roundabout that takes no account for merging traffic incidents, 2 lanes where drivers are trying to merge into one and make their exit of the roundabout. It doesn't seem to take into account traffic stoppage. There is going to be traffic backed up in the roundabout because of your light at 64th and potentially even at 70th. Has there been any empirical data? Is there any real world study in a similar environment to ours that you can point to that shows that a signal a few hundred yards from a roundabout does not stop and back up traffic?
Okay, I'll take this. I think the diagrams that have been presented assume that each driver will stay in their lane. And all of the conflict concerns that you raised are applicable to a signalized intersection if people don't stay in their lanes. So that I believe that is the first assumption, is that people will stay in their lanes and know that you don't have as many conflict points as you do in a signalized intersection. With regard to your second question is, I go back to the statement that I made earlier, and that is when the department completes this project and turns it over to Indian River County, it will be the responsibility of Indian River County traffic engineering to maintain free flow at a given speed throughout the corridor.
I'm sorry, that's not necessarily possible. All they can do is adjust timing on a light. They can't account for traffic in of itself. And as you mentioned, the school buses stopping and such, which makes the 64 light certainly seem like a good idea, but it doesn't make it look like the roundabout attached to it is a good idea, that a multi-lane intersection there with dedicated turning points and turning lanes seems like a much safer and more practical option.
So part of the analysis that they will, that they'll conduct includes various type of traffic, diverse traffic, various speeds, and there are certain assumptions that are made, and based on those assumptions, the timing at the signalized intersections will be such that for any queue of vehicles, you will ideally have free flow. That doesn't mean that there's going to be vehicles that are not left, behind, but it ideally it analyzes the traffic for a free flow condition.
Well, I understand that's the theory, but when you see what traffic is like here in the mornings, where we are backed up from US 1 well past 79 Terrace every morning and every evening, that will be alleviated somewhat by the extra lanes. However, you're still putting a signalized light with a cross street just 2 blocks, just a couple hundred yards from your free-flowing roundabout. There, at peak hours, there's going to be no way to time that out because you're going to be dependent on your cross street traffic as well. as Mr. Votavka pointed out, we've got such a mix of people traveling in the mornings between high school students, parents dropping kids off at multiple elementary and middle schools in the area, and then our normal elderly retiree traffic. Now throw in our working age folks, which make up the bulk of the traffic on those peak hours. I don't think you can, you're basically telling the county that they have to make it work after you've handicapped them with this roundabout. It doesn't seem like the study has been made to see if the roundabout can be worked in versus a traffic light, because as gentleman mentioned earlier, according to if I heard him correctly, the state is requiring that the roundabout be the first option. Is that true?
Who said that? Who said
I believe that Brian said that if I heard him correctly.
No, and if I may, wait, Brian, if I may clarify something. I've been working on this project representing DOT for the past 6 years. From the very beginning, Indian River County staff and DOT have been partners. At no time has the DOT said to the county, this is what you're getting and you're going to have to make it work, which is some kind of what that was my perception of the statement that you made. Everything that we have done has been in partnering with Indian River County and with their consent and concurrence, and everything that we've done, they've been made well aware of, so and are in agreement with. So I just wanted to clarify that it's a total partnership with Indian River County. As far as the signalized intersection at 64th, that is something that we can discuss further. However, that particular signalized intersection was requested by the local community, the Wabasso community, which, and it's strictly for when the children are brought in from school, they're bussed in and they are dropped off and they have to cross the road. And that was requested by them for safety issues. So I just want to make those two statements. And then Brian, you can go ahead and finish.
Yeah, and we did analyze it, and that intersection is actually 1,200 feet from the roundabout. So there is some distance, and even if it was a signal, it wouldn't, I mean, a roundabout does not address all concerns. As the previous slide I showed that there is some delays associated with the roundabout. It's just a better option than a traffic signal, because there's accidents and delays associated with that being in close proximity to the other intersections. So just because whether it's a signal or a roundabout, you're still going to have certain issues.
Is there now, and let me back up to Maria. I agree that the light at 64 for the safety of children in the Wabasso area is a good idea. I'm just questioning if it's a good idea to have the roundabout in addition to that. But is there data on how many accidents we average per year at that intersection currently?
I believe there is. We can get. I don't know if Brian has it readily available, but we.
I don't have it with me, but we can certainly pull the traffic data on what kind of accidents that are existing. I mean, that's part of.
Brian?
That again?
Brian, this is Josh. If we're talking about 66, I do have some data.
Okay.
From Signal 4 Analytics, which is a program we commonly use that mines DHS and beat data. We did find that from 2016 through 2020, so the latest 5 full years, there were 51 crashes there. 13 of those resulted in injuries. Of those crashes, there were 2 angles, 1 head-on collision, and 8 left turn crashes. That's under the existing conditions, of course, before widening.
Okay, thank you. And that would also be under current lighting where there's not a left turn, red arrow that blocks left turn traffic without signal. But that's 50 in 5 years compared to the average of 50 a year at the Vieira Roundabout. Just want to make that point. And I'm going to let you guys go. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who'd like to ask questions. We'll have other discussions going forward, I'm sure, in a smaller venue. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much for your input. Lila?
Oh, sorry. Barbara, I had unmuted you, and I know you have a handful of people at City Hall that would like to speak.
Give us a moment as we get them up to the microphone. Go ahead and speak.
My name is Bishop Sylvester McIntosh, and I live in the Wabasso corridor. I've lived here for 74 years. And I think you've been sold a bill of goods because there's no egress for those citizens between 58th Avenue and 66th Avenue to get out if there was an emergency. On both sides of this road, what I did, I sat down and sketched my own map out to show you this area. From 58th Avenue going west, 58th Court, 59th Avenue, we skip over Summer Lake and Patterson Square. The 63rd Avenue and 64th Avenue, on the south side of 510, there's no exit from those to get even the 81st Street. The only escape rate is off Patterson Square, which is Summer Lake. You have 3 exits on that end. On the north side of the road, from Johns Island West, you have 61st Drive, Lowe's Park, 68th Avenue North, and 64th Avenue. Those are all dead ends. I live in what is called Whitfield subdivision. If I try to get out on 64th Avenue now, it takes me 15 to 20 minutes in the morning just to get out of there because of the traffic is backed up from US 1 all the way out to, I think he said 7th Avenue, somewhere in there. I try to get out off of 86 Lane where I live at, going west, and all the traffic coming out of Sebastian area, Schumann Drive, I cannot get out. So it tells me that if there was a natural emergency, the Berry Island is coming down 510, people are coming down 58, they're coming down 66. Those 500 and some residents in that area would be stuck because of the traffic. So somebody has been sold a bill of goods and hadn't gotten the whole story. I've sit here and listen at your whole presentation. So we need to come back because 64th Avenue, at one time they did not want to put a light there, say it was too close to 66th Avenue, and we have a store there, a business. We have a church there. We have 2 schools there. And yet, if this go the way it's going, if there's a natural disaster, the people in this section of that area would be stuck and locked in. I hope you look over this again and do a better job from what I'm hearing.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Brian, sir, if you have the time, we would love to focus in on that area and go over the access points that you are referring to. Or we could meet with you separately, but you made a public comment and we would very much like an opportunity to answer your concerns.
Well, I hope so. And the reason I say
Okay.
I hope so, I have properties there. My family had owned most of the area at one time. Many of them died off and sold different stuff. But my main concern is my kids after I'm gone and the way things are going now. We're gonna continue to be stuck.
Is, Manoj, can you zoom into that, you can zoom into County Road 510 and 58th, and we can start there and head west and discuss the options for the gentleman, please?
What was the
Sure,
question?
yeah, I'll share my screen now.
What is the question? Huh?
I think they're gonna show the roadway
Okay.
there.
I'm east of there.
Yes, sir. We're panning through, we're zooming in, and then you tell us which direction
Okay,
to
58th
go.
Avenue, I see that. Now we're
Yes.
going west. Okay.
Now we're going west. Where is your concern?
Your stuff right there, Manoj.
Okay, we're going west. 58th Court. Do you show that on there?
No, you have to go
58th
east.
Court was,
I didn't think you would have it on there. What
Yeah,
about
we-
59th Avenue?
this is
Please bear with us, sir.
58th Court.
Huh?
Yeah, keep going
Sorry.
east, Manoj.
58th Court.
Which one?
This is 58th Court.
Right.
Hold.
The
Correct.
road right here. This is 58th Court.
Yes, so if I may, sir, actually quite a bit of thought was given to this. Currently, you have access to County Road 510 from 58th Court. In the future.
58th Court? No, ma'am, there's a dead end, and the reason I know that, my aunt owned the property at the end of 58th Court, and that's her private property. There is no throughway there.
Manoj, can you zoom in to the intersection of 58th Court and County Road 510, please?
Yeah, sorry, give me a second. My the PDF seems to be loading. One second. Let me just close it and reopen it. Give me 1 second.
You wanna find it?
Sorry, this file is quite large. Let me, I think maybe the easiest way, okay, here it goes. Maybe an easier way would be to load it on here, because I think this is going very
There's a
slow.
road here,
Let me try loading it a different way.
part of Palatine Square.
Right, yeah, I found there where they were gonna build a pond right here, I think they were gonna connect the two together.
Well, that would come behind two of the citizens' houses that they're buying, but that,
Right.
yeah. But they, right there, there's no access road to the south of there.
Manoj, I have the, roll plot up if you want me to share that. Oh, you got it there.
Okay.
I'm doing it with Google Earth. I think this will be.
Yeah. So can you, Manoj, can you, zoom in on 58th Court?
Yes, that's this road.
That's, okay. So, the gentleman that made the comment, zoom in there, okay. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to explain something to you. Currently, you have access from 58th Court directly onto County Road 510, do you not?
Off 58th Court?
Yes, sir.
Yes, coming north off of there, yes, but south,
North, yes.
yes.
Yes, yeah, it's, sir, one at a time. So, so we studied, the option of leaving that access point. And due to your concerns over your safety, we determined that the natural outcome would be people would be making a right turn out, crossing 2 lanes to get on the left lane and make a U-turn to go eastbound. Would you agree with that?
I know about that. This is what you're proposing, but right now that, those 2 houses that are on that
Yes.
corner happen to be my cousin's
sir.
house, and they've sold, they're selling it to the state. As of right there, no access to that area.
Can you, Manoj, can you move so that he can point to his house, the house he's talking about?
Yes, Jethro Clark is the name of the cousin.
Oh, I know Jethro very well.
Yeah, I know you
He has
do.
been in most of the meetings. Say hello to him for me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so the reason why we severed that existing access onto County Road 510 was for safety issues. However, we have provided the road, Manoj, if you could point to the road that goes across, go a little bit more up with the arrow, Manoj. So we provided a side road that cuts across. And that was, I believe the majority of that is in public right of way. So you see that road that cuts across? So all of the homes in the vicinity can take 58th Court north and then cut across. Manoj, if you could please just point to the road that I'm trying to describe. Yeah, there. So they would cut across to the west and then make a right to access County Road 510 from this other road, which is Manoj.
Then you're gonna have to come to the light and make a U-turn to go back west?
Yes, but it'll be safer, correct, but it will be safer than if you did it, where you currently are doing it.
Yeah.
Because there's more, opportunity for, accidents, and collisions where you currently, have access to. So this was done by design, and it was coordinated with Jethro, and it was coordinated with Indian River County and the entire community there, and everybody was on board on this.
Yeah, I was there, so I know. But what I'm
Okay.
saying, it's not just there. We're talking about these other roads on the south side of this highway, like
Okay,
62nd
go there.
Avenue,
Sir,
63rd,
we can also,
and
Yes, sir.
64th.
yes, sir. Now, we can only do one at a time. So let's go to 66, and then you can voice your concerns over 66.
I think you said 62nd also, is that?
Yes, but we do one at a time. So we're gonna do 66 and talk about his issues, and then we go to the other ones.
So 66 would be at this roundabout.
Yes.
Exactly.
So where is your area of concern?
Where's 66, okay, there. Okay, sir, could you tell us what your area, what you object to here?
Can you show me 61st Drive on your map?
60, go to the east, go east, Manoj. East.
61st Drive is here on the top, this north part.
Okay.
This is So what was your concern here?
Sir? Sir, are you with us?
I'm with you. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, so Manoj says that this is the road you referred to.
That's Lowe's Park, and if you're going north, that's a dead end. North.
Right.
The only access they have is coming to 510, and as I said earlier, from US 1 to 7th Avenue, they are locked in.
We are providing access off of County Road 510, sir.
And as you can see here, you actually even have a left direct in access as well, and a ability to go left going out.
We're not changing access for that community, sir.
That's what I'm saying. 500 people that live in that area cannot get out to 510 when this traffic is backed up. But you're not showing it on your maps or any of that.
No, sir, if I may. So the scope of our work is to enhance capacity to 4-lane County Road 510. And we have done that. We have provided as much as possible safe access to all side streets and all residents. Now, the scope of the work is not to to widen and improve capacity and drainage for all side streets. That would be a local effort. That would be something that you would need to take up with Indian River County.
Well, I have two of my commissioners here now, but I'm still saying for egress, if there was a major hurricane in that area, the residents within, from 58th Avenue to 66th Avenue, with the traffic coming from the Barry Islands, from 58th Avenue, and from 66th, they are locked in. We're locked in.
Well, it would be the same.
And also
now.
at 64th Avenue, you were talking about a traffic light. At one time, we were told they would not put a traffic light. How are the kids and older folk gonna make it to that store without a traffic light being there?
Okay, but we are providing a traffic light. So I'm not sure what the issue is. Is it that before you requested and were denied a traffic light? But I can't speak to that, but we are currently providing a traffic light.
There's a caution light there. And we can't get out even there now.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a full signal when the roadway is widened.
When the road is complete, there will be a full signal there.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then it looked like we need to go back to our commissioners to find out, because like I say, I'm still concerned about that egress. If there's a major hurricane and everybody have to come through that area, there's no way in the world that area people can get out. We can't get out now, and with you widening the highway to 4 lanes, it's going to even be worse. I've lived all over the United States, ma'am, and I've seen what these runabouts do, okay? And they are
Okay.
not in the best interest of anybody.
Okay. Well, have we answered your questions as far as providing?
You have.
We have? Okay, thank you very much. If you would like very much to meet separately and one-on-one or a small group, like you said, Jethro knows me. I work very closely with the Guabasso community. They all know me. And if you would like for us to present to you and explain things to you on a smaller scale, we'd be happy to. However, keep in mind that the scope of this project, once again, is to increase capacity for County Road 510. So we're going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. We're providing access to all the side roads, side streets, and driveways connections, and we have not severed access from anyone. So, however, the scope of our work does not entail improving the entire community roads. First of all, they're not under our jurisdiction. And so if please let me finish, sir. So if you're looking to accomplish that, I recommend you take that up with Indian River County Public Works or Indian River County Board of County Commissioners.
We'll do that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We have another speaker.
Good evening. I'm Jeanette Anderson, and I live on, my address is 6125 85th Street. And I was just wondering how far how far east will I have to travel to go west after this is complete? Because I live on the south side of 510, which means directly in front of my house will be a one-way heading east.
Okay, did you say 85th Street? Where you live?
6125 85th Street, which is County Road 510.
Okay, so what's the closest intersection? Side street?
The closest to me would be...
Yes, so we can zoom in.
62nd Avenue.
62nd, okay.
Yes, so I'm east of 62nd Avenue.
Okay, can we go there, Manoj?
Yeah, that was 62nd?
Yes.
Okay, so can we zoom in and ma'am, if you would please elaborate on what the issues are?
How far east will I have to travel out of my driveway to go west?
First, let's try to find are you on the south side of the road or north side of the road?
Yes, I'm on the south side of the road, which means that will be the eastbound traffic.
Yes, ma'am. So you would actually access County Road 510 via either one of the side streets, and then you would proceed eastbound, and you'd have to go maybe 400 feet to get to make a U-turn and then go westbound. Is that about right, Brian, or?
Yes.
Okay, so what the previous speaker was trying to say is that once we access that, get onto 510, or trying to get onto 510, with the traffic being more, it's already a nightmare. It's gonna be worse once you put in the roundabout, and then if there is a natural disaster, then we're gonna have a hard time getting onto 510. That's the issue that we're talking about.
Right. I understand, and I appreciate that very much. But what, I think what I'm trying to explain is that adding lanes or adding a roundabout doesn't bring in more traffic. You already have the traffic. It alleviates the traffic because it has, where to go. The traffic you're dealing with now, the bumper to bumper throughout there, will now have 4 lanes to maneuver through. So it's kind of a misconception, and Brian, jump in and correct me, but I think it's a misconception that if we widen the road or we add lanes, we're somehow increasing the traffic. The traffic is going to be what it is now, and it will be, the projected traffic will be what it is projected to be. Brian, do you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why we're widening the road, is because it needs the additional capacity. You'll still have 2 lanes. You actually have 2 lanes in both directions now. So right now you only have 1 lane in each direction. So you should have, you know, in theory, double the capacity of what you have currently. And, you know, emergency situations, you know, you'll have, if you're at 62nd,
I'm east of 62nd.
So she's probably one of those blue driveway connections, those 4. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So
say that.
I'm in between Summer Lake and 62nd Avenue.
okay. Yeah, so you have I mean, there is an access point back over to it, you know, within the directional, within 200 feet, there's a turn lane that you would be able to make a U-turn at.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We have another speaker?
I'm Irvin Cartwright. How you doing, Mayor?
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing? I think what everybody's complaining about here is when we come to 510 coming out one of the emerging roads on the thing, if we had a emerging lane to come out and say we're gonna make a right-hand turn, we could go down a couple feet to try to work our way into the traffic, then come to a standstill and let somebody give us respect to come into 510. That's what everybody is talking about when they come up to a dead end. They got to stop and wait for respect to get onto the road. But if we just could make a right-hand turn and then try to zoom across 2 lanes of traffic to get in the turning lane, it'd be a lot much easier to do that. And then I want to get back to the point of coming between 58th and 59th Court, between, like, say, Cutting Jeffro property and this White property. Like I say, they can't go to 510 off of 58th Avenue. I mean, 58th Court. It's gonna be a block, like say, like Carlos told me before, that's too close to 58th Avenue to get on the property, you know, could cause an accident. But when we come between their house, I see the blue line is coming behind the Rigby's and the Williams property. Is that a road to go straight through there to come almost on the other side of the second detention pond?
Manoj, can you zoom into the side road that we were talking about?
Yeah, and what he's talking about is, yeah, we are closing the existing access point, but we are building a roadway behind where the pond's going to be to basically allow movement north and south to be able to use the other side street.
Manoj, you have to go east.
No, I'm talking about you own 58 Court, and you're going behind Mr. Clark's house,
Yes.
and you're going over to 59th. Okay, would they be able to merge
Yes.
510 off of 59th?
Merge 510.
Yes, you can, this is 59th right here.
Right.
You will be able to enter 510 from here.
Okay, now that second tension pond would look like the triangle. Go back to that tension pond.
The retention pond, that's like.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is here, there would not be, an alleyway between the Williams and the Rigby's? I see you got a blue line there.
There will be.
There will
Oh,
be.
the blue line is the blue line is a drainage easement. That's not gonna be a road. But the yellow lines that you're seeing will be a road connecting 58th Court to 59th Avenue.
Okay, there won't be a road to go between those two houses.
This area here, I don't know, my mouse, but this will not be a road. But the area between 59th Avenue and 58th Court will be a road.
Will be a road. And like I say,
Yeah.
thank y'all for putting a traffic light at 64th.
Okay,
Thank you.
No problem.
thank you.
That was everybody at City Hall? Or, no, oh, one more, sorry. Got one more.
My name is Doris. The question I have, I had a property on 510 on the top of the hill. I was sold the property to county less, I think 7 years. But at that time when I sold the property, they give me whatever they want for it. Which is, I was asked them how much they want on my property. They tell me they're gonna want 40 foot on my property. That's what I thought. But after I sold them the property, I thought they're gonna take 40 foot because my property was 150 by 75. And then they was take the whole everything, which is what they was paying me for. I have no choice because they put so much pressure on me, and I had no choice to sell it to them. Which is if I thought they was, I thought they were gonna open the road soon, another years later. If I knew they're gonna take all the time to open the road, I would hold on to my property to sell it for a better price.
Is your property, currently needed for the four laning of County Road 510?
Yes, it was on the top of the hill. My property was set right on top of the hill, and then I thought they're gonna take 40 foot because when they come look at my property, they tell me they're gonna need 40 foot on my property, but my property is 150 by 75. So
right,
and they told me after when I sold my property, they put so much pressure on me to sell the property.
right,
I sold it to them.
right.
I thought there was something they're gonna do. Excuse me?
I understand. What I'm trying to get at is any part of that property that was purchased currently, is it going to be used for the four laning of this project?
But what I'm trying to get.
So, sir, and the reason I just need yes or no, like the property that Indian River County purchased from you, was that deemed needed for this project?
Yes, but not their whole property. They're gonna need only 40 foot. That's what they told me. But
Yeah. I'm not qualified to discuss the price. I'm gonna turn it over to Robin Briswa, and she can perhaps elaborate on how the department deals or would like to deal with situations like yours. You're not the only one. So there have been numerous property owners that have been approached by Indian River County before the project became federalized, before the DOT took over the project. And they did not follow the Right-of-Way Uniform Act. And so this is something that we're aware of and we are looking into. And I will turn it over to Robin so she can correct me if I said anything wrong.
Thank you. No, you didn't say anything wrong, Maria. Thank you. I do want to make sure that we're very clear that the county was not required to follow the Uniform Act when they did their acquisition.
Correct. Correct.
And now that the project will have federal funding, as Maria said, federalized, so that means that we're going to follow a set of criteria that's a little bit different from what the county did. So again, there was nothing wrong with the way that they acquired your property at the time, but now that we have federal money, we're going to be looking at, those acquisitions that were done by the county and just making sure that everything adheres to the Uniform Act, which is a federal regulation. So I'm going to want to be talking to you, and I'm going to want your name and your contact information, because are you still living in the area?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So, Layla, what's the best way for him to provide that information? Can he type it into the?
My name is Mr. Dries.
Or simply send an email to Maria with that information and she can forward it to me.
Yeah.
We're gonna work with the gentleman to get it into the chat for you.
Yes, and if there's anybody else in this situation, we are gonna be contacting the people that worked with the county before and just get some information from them and understand, how everything went and make sure it adheres to the Uniform Act that we will be following. So if there is anybody else in that group, I'd like to also have that information from you as well.
Mark, that's an excellent idea, just to put it into the question pane and send name, address, or phone number, how we can contact him.
Yeah, email, phone number, whatever they choose. And we'll be getting in touch with them as this project moves into the right-of-way phase. Currently, we're in design, but we'll be coming into the right-of-way phase later this year for this segment. Thank you for letting us know.
Do you need them to contact you or?
Yes, please.
Did that answer your
We're gonna enter in
question,
2
sir?
addresses.
Maria, do you know the name of the gentleman that was speaking?
No, I do not.
Okay.
The last one was Irving Cutright, I think.
We're working on getting you all the data information.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, Irving and I have met before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure we have information for him on some of the meeting lists that we have, the attendance list.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Cartwright, have we addressed your concern?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
We're getting it for you.
Barbara, so you'll get that to me?
Thank you.
Thank you. We're entering in the information for the people from, who are here at City Hall. This is Brian with the MPO.
Question?
I think everyone who was gonna speak here has spoken.
Okay, and I think, I don't see any other hands raised, so I think I'm sure we're going to find tomorrow on, this huge matrix, some questions that might not have been thoroughly answered, and so we will follow up accordingly, because we do have contact information for those available. And as always, we appreciate your participation. Please reach out to the FDOT project manager, Maria, at any time, to have any concerns or comments answered. Thank you all for your input. Maria, any words?
No, thank you all. And we will make sure that we address each and every comment, question, or concern. Thank you all for attending.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.